Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back. This is Ragnarok, your host here with part 139, I want to say, 38 or 39 of my Warhammer 2 Mortal Empire's Karl Franz campaign on Legendary difficulty. Alright, so things have been relatively quiet here of late. We have the Norscan wars are over, the Chaos wars are over. And we're essentially just preparing for the next major conquest, revamping some of our armies, getting a little bit more elite troops, and in the meantime just working on locking down public order in the northern provinces. So it's giving us an opportunity to get some more of our generals leveled up a little bit. But things have been going along fairly smoothly for the most part. I believe we should be able to auto-resolve this fight coming up here. I'm going to try and go for an hour again today. I know it's a little bit longer episodes, but as I've been saying, I really want to try and wrap up this campaign before the update drops, the next update, the DLC for the game. So trying my best to push through as much of this as I can and this bad boy finished off. Alright, we're trying my best to get Aristotle out of this area. I'd like to have him in the south to support when we do make our push into what looks like it's gonna be Wood Elf territory and Orc territory. Actually, I'm gonna bring up the diplomacy here in a moment. We're gonna try and slow down the rebellion there as we bring Hans Hall over here. I guess we should rename this guy. Let's call him Floki. Okay. Alright. As soon as he gets over here, that should help out with the public order a little bit. We'll keep him stationed by Sarl encampment probably. You know what, we should probably build another one of these. And then hopefully that will help with the public order. The thing is, I'm not sure exactly how this works. Public order -3. So right now buildings are 2. This is supposed to do 2 public order. This is 2 public order, and I think this is just 1 until it gets built to level 3. So 2, 4, 5. And then this is 6, 7. Sorry. This is... oh my gosh. 4. So I think that's 9 public order minus the 3. We should be getting 6 from the buildings, but I don't think that's exactly how it works. I guess you don't get the full bonus for your buildings, construction, recruitment duration, income from... oh, okay. So income from buildings minus 50%, it must mean that you only get 50% of the bonus as well. So public order, this is just probably +1 then, and then this is +1, and then this is counting for probably nothing until it gets to level 3. So that's 2. And then if we count this, this is what, 4? Is that what it was? So 2. So that's... so this would count as 2, and then we get 1 for this and 1 for that. So that's 4, and then minus 3, that's 1. Still doesn't add up. Unless this is counting for 1 right now, which then it would add up. So I think maybe that's how it works. I don't know. I always wonder, because I mean, you get the inhabitable penalty and then the penalty for the buildings, but it's not clear. They get the reduction in public order from the buildings. Anyway, I think it must be, that must be the case, that it's only the same thing, that minus 50% income from all buildings affects the public order, and everything else that this grants as well, probably. Though it should say so on this chart. I don't fucking know. Anyway, not enough time mulling over that. All right, you sir, I'm gonna move you right to there, I think. And what we'll do, we'll put you up in camp. And I think what we'll do here, I'm gonna recruit 4 more of those. And then we're gonna recruit 3 of those. Just because these are a little bit less expensive, and having the additional artillery should prove useful for this army. So that'll give us 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 demigraphes. So that'd be somewhat formidable. Grunwalds. I don't think we're really gonna have time to replace these mortars, though.
So, to the provinces. What?
Maybe we will replace them. Because we've got to. I want to recruit the another Luminarch for Franz. Damn! If I was smart about this, we could have recruited Franz's soldiers previously. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of those. Crossbows we will keep.
What brings you here? What does the Emperor bid?
Yeah, I guess we'll keep them.
To the provinces.
Thing is, I don't want to move.
Rise Sigmar.
I want to move Grunwald out of this province. That's the problem. What I'm gonna do is just temporarily. I'm gonna put the. Actually, no. Temporarily, I'm gonna put these guys in Grunwald's army.
This will bolster the nation. Sigmar
I'm in Helm Guard.
us.
We'll replenish a little bit more quickly. And then. Actually, you know. Fuck. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then we'll send Franz over to this province next turn and recruit the artillery. And we'll get rocket batteries for Grunwald rather than those using the mortars. Yeah. And we'll pick up the Luminarch, which will take a few turns. How many turns does that thing take to recruit? I'm not sure. Anyway. And then what we can do, I think, is... I was actually looking at this, and if we offer...
Sigmar's chosen.
to join war against some of these guys, there's a possibility we can actually get it. So we do have to wait a few more turns anyway before we can do that, because we just broke our treaties with the Wood Elves. So we've got 5 more turns anyway, so we've got a few turns to kill, basically. In the meantime, we just
True servant of Sigmar.
we'll just stay camped out here with these two.
Your word is my command.
I will do anything for Sigmar.
Tools of judgment ready.
Alright, Belmont's gonna come down here and start doing some scouting, see what we're up against as far as the orcs are concerned. Yeah, let's build that up. And then we've got this gentleman who also needs a name. What are we gonna name this guy? Alright, I'm just gonna name him Loki. Floki and Loki this episode, so nothing else is coming to mind.
Jade Wizard.
Order's fine here, we don't need to build this. And I think we're safe to switch this to taxes. Up here we've got the public order balanced for now. Islev looks good. Could build that and increase our empire captain capacity, but not really a priority. Oh, we should build this actually. Get that going. Just the sooner we can get the public order in these areas sorted, the better. The corruption here is not too bad. Public order here is pretty good. Build one of those. I think I'm going to switch this to taxes, but just build this up, and that should keep it balanced. Plus, we've got a pretty good buffer there before it revolts.
What? Of course.
Everything looks good. Forgot to check if we have any agents that I'm interested in. Doesn't look like it. Monster trackers are perfect campaign agents. I think that's probably the best trait for a campaign agent. Alright, very nice. Take a look here. I think we've moved everyone.
Cleanse the
Stay
empire.
put.
Preparing rites of exorcism.
Guys can stay put.
Baron whispers.
Alright. Right. Got about Charlie. Ah, son of a bitch, and Verstholen. Well, at least we moved Verstholen a little bit further. Alright, anyway, let's see what happens here in Sword of Justice. Further ahead, Verstholen could see the bulk of the Everberg rise up against the empty sky. He couldn't tell whether it was still manned. The standard of Averland hung from the flagpole at the summit. But that meant little. Surely Tochfell had surrendered it to one of the warring parties by now. The question was, which one? Verstholen put his knife away. In the daylight, with the enemy flying before them and the old city nearly locked down, it was hard not to become complacent. He knew that would be a mistake. Verstholen was no coward, but he was no fool either. Deep down, he saw he was still afraid, mortally afraid. Consequences of what he'd seen were terrible enough. He approaches now, said Euler, breaking Verstholen's concentration. He looked along the quayside. Heinzmark Grosslich, in armor, looked even more the picture of a commander than he had done in civilian robes. The sun shone from his exposed blonde hair. He appeared calm, confident, and in command. The self-appointed elector was surrounded by greatswords from the Alpatrom estate. Their notched armor betrayed the fighting they'd been in, but they bore no resemblance to the scruffy mercenaries who formed the bulk of the fighting men on both sides. Vernick had given him the best to work with. As Grosslich came up to him, Verstholen bowed politely. Did you find anything, Counselor? The Count said. Verstholen shook his head. As I feared, they'd long blown the nest. They'd worked hard to cover their tracks, too. Any sign at all? Any signal? Verstholen thought of the mask. No, my lord. Groslick nodded grimly. Then we'll keep hunting. He motioned for his bodyguard to stand down. Walk with me, he said to Verstholen, and moved towards the water's edge. Verstholen fell in beside him. Euler and his men, grateful of the respite, put their weapons down and began to talk amongst themselves. I'll confess that Fernix news came as a surprise, said Groslick, keeping his voice low. I've never hidden my dislike for Rufus and his slut, but if I'd known about the... It is in the nature of corruption to be hidden, interrupted Verstholen, wanted no mention of the details. Do not trouble yourself. The joy root is at the heart of it. This I suspected for many months. Leitdorf is not as wealthy as his lineage suggests, and it is I who have the support of the guilds. Only through this trade could he have armed his men. I won't let those in my employ touch it. Verstholen wondered if that was true. Joy root's use seemed to be epidemic across the city. Very wise. Groslick paused before speaking again. He seemed to be weighing something up. Vernick tells me you're an agent of the Lord Schwarzhelm, he said. I assumed, forgive me, that you were merely an official. It's an impression I work hard to cultivate. Then you'll be an astute judge of politics. You'll know, for example, that Herr Appeltraum wishes to use me as a figurehead. He cannot succeed in the electorship himself, so he uses me as his proxy. Verstholen had to admire the man's judgment. Then why maintain your alliance? I need him, his money, his connections, his arms. I have none of these. The only thing I have, linking me to the electorship, is a long-forgotten blood tie to an ancient count, and even that is contested. If there were better candidates than Appeltraum and Leitdorf, I'd never had stood a chance. You make it sound as if you do not wish to succeed. Groslick stopped walking and looked at him seriously. I wish for nothing else. This province has wallowed in indolence for too long. Sigmar willing, I will restore it to glory. We must no longer be the rich weakling amongst the Empire's realms. Vernick Appeltraum is an old hand at this game, said Verstholen. Be wary of taking him on. That is why I need to speak to you. My victory here is almost at hand. Rufus's men have been driven from the old city and on to the western bank. We will hunt them down, and then I shall be crowned. Then the real battle begins. Appeltraum cannot be allowed to rule through me. If that were to happen, nothing would change. We'd have swapped one tyrant for another. I need your help, Counselor. You have the skills for this work, whereas I am but a soldier. Verstholen raised an eyebrow. Are you offering me a job, Lord Groslick? Groslick looked uncharacteristically uneasy. Not exactly. Some kind of adversary role, perhaps. I'm not a proud man, Counselor. I need help. You could provide me with it. Verstholen smiled sadly. I appreciate your predicament. Be assured that while the taint of chaos remains in Averheim, I will help you root it out. But after that, I am Schwarzhelm's servant. That, I'm afraid, is not something I can change, not even for the Emperor himself. Your devotion commends you, said Groslick, keeping his expression level. If he was disappointed, he hid it well. Let me speak candidly, though. There are many here who wonder if the Lord Schwarzhelm deserves the services of one such as you. He is a son of Averland, but... Verstholen raised his hand. Say no more. I will not hear this. If it were not for Schwarzhelm, Marius would have driven your province to ruin 20 years ago. Even now he fights to prevent it falling apart. He has been targeted by those we fight against, and a lesser man would have cracked long ago. Whatever you think, he is the greatest hope for your cause. Groslick inclined his head in apology, withdrawing the criticism gracefully. Whew, alright. Interesting exchange there between Groslick and Verstholen. Alright, let's see what we got.
Show me the
Looking up
accused.
here. Get you moving down this way before I forget. A long ways to go. Get into Orc territory.
The
At
Emperor.
least we're getting our agents
Onwards.
into position. Our invasion
What
forces
orders?
just about ready to go. Just gotta get this.
Our part.
We just gotta get Loki over here to join the force. We will
Yes.
send them in. Alright, Captain Vane. Wound to finger for you. And Mr. Franz. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, excuse my French, guys. Where's the border? Where is the border between these? Yeah, damn it to hell.
Ready.
Not gonna quite reach it to Nuln.
My orders are to
Which means it's gonna cost us another turn. But, I mean, we still got 4 more turns to burn anyway.
By the comet.
Before we can declare war on the Wood Elves. Still, that's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Pick up some more Reichsguard for Franzi.
The trees tell me much.
Look at what we've got available here. For heroes. Cunning, Determined, Monster Tracker. Damn it. Another one of these guys. Alright, so what are we at here for public order? -4.
What do you require?
Bring this bloke up here.
Come, men, forward.
It's us to what? +5, very nice.
The nation
However,
calls.
The nation calls.
Aristotle's presence here is a big help to that. Military, not to mention the military crackdown. Military crackdown, military presence. That was built. These buildings will help out a little bit.
Yes, my lord.
I think, though,
This will bolster the nation. It is time.
Yes.
we're on the right track to getting
For
him out of
Sigmar.
this province. We'll move Floki close to this settlement in case oh, for fuck's sake.
I will marshal the men.
Cleanse the empire.
In case there is a rebellion, we can throw him into the army. I feel like if we get just one more of those guys with that trait, that will be okay in that area. Alright, good. Uhtred, now immortal. Public order here. These guys are helping out considerably here.
Awaiting orders.
Oh right, that's because I changed changed up some of the things. Maybe we'll send a couple of these guys over here as well. Alright, we'll send Ghost.
Sing battle hymns.
And we will also
True servant of
send
Sigmar.
Plato.
Onwards.
Sigmarite Archlector.
Disagree with that.
And we'll send Plato, Ragnar the
Moving
Younger.
off.
Send 3 of them.
Archlector. What orders?
And then what I'm
Protector of the
thinking
weak.
is maybe we can even disband the Voice of Sigmar, though he's actually, yeah, he's helping out quite a bit here. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then plus the Untainted. Well, we might have to leave Voice of Sigmar here for a little while while we get that corruption rooted out. This is looking good. It's looking like we're slowly getting this under control. Actually, maybe we'll keep him up here because we'll probably want to start expanding into the other Norskin provinces just to take it over. And we'll use him to do that, and then we can keep all the agents and just move from province to province as we get them under control. So I think we've more or less got that situation in hand. Let's build this. And I think we'll build one of these here. Alright, before I spend all our money, I guess we should send our friends some gifts again.
You come to Bretonia, stranger. I am its king, most prudent.
Alright, helps out.
Onward! Greetings, honorable ally. Agreed!
Alright, just keep things improving with them. That is a priority. Warden. Public order's good here. Don't really need to build this.
Yes?
One more turns for you.
Summon the Elector Counts.
There's not going to be a lot to do here. For a little while. Take a look at what we got down here.
Step to it.
Azray.
Odin. Yeah, they don't look too strong. I think they've got... Okay, they got another army over here. At least they're not... Their forces aren't concentrated. And we're gonna have 3 armies coming down there to take them on.
I am Prince and Emperor.
The Empire.
Yeah, I'm just still debating on whether or not the crossbows are going to be useful at all.
Seek out the
Alright, I think that's pretty much it for this turn. Just double check if there's anything else we can build. Got a tiny bit of coin. Ooh, shit. Rebellion. Forgot to move you. We do have defenses there, so that's fine.
of the weak.
We're not replenishing here.
Sigmarite Arch-Lector.
Guys into there. Taking quite a bit of attrition over here. Going with the growth. 2 more turns we'll be able to build that up. Son of a bitch. Yeah, we'll turn the taxes back on here. He should be able to get over here in time to sort that out. Not to mention, once we get this built, 2 more turns, that's gonna be 1 more public order, and then we can build the what do you call it? The tap room, and then that'll pretty much sort out the public order. But Hell Pit, yeah, Hell Pit will be able to hold out until he gets over there. And at least we're getting a little bit of replenishment now. And then we can sort out another rebellion here. You can always turn public order on to slow it down. Yeah, I think public order is more or less coming under control. Let's just quickly check what we can build. This we don't need to build up. Oh shit. Yeah, I guess we might as well build this. Increase the capacity for those Empire captains. Forgive me. I should perhaps have more faith. He looked back along the river. In the distance, the great bridge over the Aver had begun to burn. Fighting had evidently reached the crossings, and the fires spread with it. I wish I could discuss this at great leisure, but I should go back to my men. You are to be commended, Herr Verstholen. Your tidings given to Appletrom have set this in motion, and victory is at hand. Does Leitdorf lead his forces. He's not been seen, but it's not his way. He'll be skulking in some cellar, letting his peasants lose their lives for him. That concerns me. We're driving them back too easily." Groslick grinned. He looked supremely unworried. "Worry not, counselor. In an honest fight, there is only one winner. Whatever dabbling Leitdorf has been doing in spells and potions won't make up for his poor judgment. Even his own men hate him. The city will be ours before nightfall tomorrow." Verstolin looked at the burning bridge darkly. Something was wrong here, though he couldn't put his finger on it. Every instinct he possessed warned him that they were winning too quickly. The ways of chaos were subtle, and uprooting the contagion was never as simple a matter as this. "I will come with you," he said. "You could use a good shot, and I want to see Leitdorf's forces with my own eyes. Something has eluded me here. I'm sure of it." Groslick smiled confidently. "It'll be an honor. We'll drive them out together." Alright, chapter 13. Here we go. Block felt his resolve begin to flag at last. The sun was failing. The fighting had been fierce and unrelenting for too long. His men were surrounded on all sides. They had taken heavy losses. Of the several hundred he had led in the Orc rear guard, perhaps 2/3 remained on their feet. They had driven hard into the Orc lines, but the greenskins had swallowed them up. This was beginning to look more and more like a mistake. Even his arms, hardened by years of incessant combat, were near the end of their strength. Wielding the sword was hard. He'd already sustained several wounds due to the unfamiliar weapon. A halberd was more difficult to use in a confined space, but it served as both attack and defense. Without the long staff to use, Block found the hooked weapons of the Orcs getting through his guard too often. He'd taken a flesh wound to his leg, and only narrowly avoided being skewered by an unusually nimble greenskin warrior. Exiles of Nahek. Exiles of Nahek. Was I... son of a bitch. Were we not allied with these guys? Your ally declares war. For fuck's sake. They're declaring war on Bretonia. They're allies. Oh my gosh. This is a fucking disaster right here. I feel like this is gonna fuck up our reliability either way. Dwarves are unreliable. Attitude towards... broken treaties with Lothern. I think we're gonna have to decline and break the alliance. Gonna hurt our reliability, but hopefully it will recover in time. Yeah, so that's a shame right there. Too many of his men hadn't been so lucky. Fisher was gone, dragged down by the combined attack of several Orcs. Working in tandem, Locke had reached him too late. After so many days on the run, his men were flagging. The battle with the Orcs had ebbed and flowed, but it seemed as if they had finally run out of the fortune that had preserved them since Grunwald's demise. "To me, lads!" he shouted, desperately trying to rally the men that remained. His voice cracked as he urged them on. The halberdiers and spearmen around him kept their heads down, desperately trying to stem the assault of the Orcs. Formation still held, but only just. With every backward step, every Orc assault, Locke's detachment was beaten back. They were surrounded, cut off from help. Locke raised his sword a final time. The men on either side of him looked drained. The Orcs hung back for a moment, taking the chance to jeer at them before they charged. They swung their crude weapons wildly, relishing the impending victory. Locke couldn't make out what they were saying, but the gist was obvious enough. Gritting his teeth, he prepared for the onslaught. He had a good run, couldn't complain. It had been worth the gamble. Then, before his astonished eyes, the Orc ranks were torn apart. From nowhere, crashing through the press of greenskins, armored knights charged straight through the mocking warriors. Heavy plate armor flashed in the sun as a wedge of horsemen tore through the orc resistance. No more than 24 of them, an arrowhead of steel amid a sea of foes. But they were superb horsemen. Locksome, one sweep, a greenskin warrior from his feet on the charge, drop the lance, take up a sword, and swing it round to decapitate another. All at speed, all in a heartbeat. At their head was a figure he knew all too well. Schwarzhelm was like a force of nature. His armor was battered and dented all over, but his momentum on the charge was irresistible. He roared his defiance in that familiar resounding voice, hacking left and right with the sword of justice as he came on. In that moment, with the sun glinting from his old armor like a halo, he looked like one of the heroes of old, the companions of holy Sigmar, who cleansed the empire of the orc menace when the world was young and pure. With every mighty stroke, every hammer blow, the will of the greenskins to resist was thrown down. Oh, Schwarzhelm to the rescue, of course. Faction destroyed. Hit with sentinels. Oh, fencing done. Alright, let me take a look here how bad our, for fuck's sake, reliability is low now. That is definitely not going to bode well for our relations. Yeah.
What?
And
Now then, Manlin.
Stunty's another payment.
All right.
And same thing with
King
Bretonia.
Lioncoeur, you tread upon Bretonian land. I'll have your will. I am with you.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this reliability does not last too long.
Champion of the lady, you ask for a boon. Speak.
But Tombkins are gonna hate us now. Exiles from the heck, yeah, they hate us. That's fine. Thing is, the High Elves weren't too happy about them doing that either, so their relations with the High Elves are gonna deteriorate as well. I don't understand why they would declare war on Bretonia. Bretonia's way the fuck over here. Like, oh, I guess they do have an agent over here, but still, it's gonna take forever for them to get their armies
Tools of judgment
anywhere
ready.
near.
On march.
Yeah, we just need to keep an eye on things here. Franz, my man. Pop over here
Onwards. As is my right by
and start
Sigmar's
recruiting
crown.
those artillery pieces. Alright, so I think we're just gonna go with two of those in Franz's army, and then we'll get these for Grunwald. God damn it. Cost us one more turn. I guess it doesn't really matter, we can just use the local recruitment. It'll be the same amount of turns and cost us a little bit less. So 4 more turns, and then we'll get on the move.
Now,
This army is almost ready. 2 more turns.
Champion of the faith.
Go reassuring presence. We might as well go down this line and get the reduced upkeep. Fuck, I don't want the roads in this corner. God, I know that's ridiculous, but I'd rather have the roads right there. Because, I mean, yeah, fuck it, I guess it doesn't really doesn't matter. Anyway, let's just build public order. See if we can... This province. It's out of the way. So that... we might have to wait on that, actually.
ready. Pick up the pace. I
Stay
feel
there.
for your soul.
We got +6 there. Right, plus 22.
Yes, son of Sigmar. Come, men, forward!
Yes, son of Sigmar. Let us forge our faith.
Oh, you know what? Son of a bitch.
True
Should just be
servant of
keeping
Sigmar.
these guys right here. If we kept them here, we can just pop them back and forth on the border as they're needed.
What do you require?
Well, let's have you actually stand
March.
right there. I'm gonna wait on building this. I think we need to build over here first. Actually, maybe not. Safe to build that.
Praise be to Sigmar.
It's gonna pop him in there.
Arch-Lector.
Just to get a little bit of replenishment. Before we take this on. That's actually going to be a little bit of a tough fight just because we're in such hard shape. But I mean Hellpit can take it on its own anyway. How bad does that make the public order here? Minus 13. Tempted to turn the taxes off here.
No, need my warp token stash.
Just leave it.
Yes, my lord.
Alright, Aristotle.
Praise Sigmar.
Just leave you here until
Cleanse the empire.
What?
just for a little bit longer. Just until
Now,
we get these guys in position. Move over. But I think we've more or less got the public order sorted there. Just this area is a little bit of a pain at the moment still. You know what, actually, up here, let's change the growth to public order. And that should help out for now. And we'll build this, put the public order building there. Determined monster tracker.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, we could do.
is it time?
Cancel that.
To the provinces.
And one of those. Ah, shit, I shouldn't have done that. Son of a bitch.
Bring me to my men.
Who likes us the most? You
one's
guys give us a
defender.
little. Oop. Need
At your
a
service.
little bit of cash
Greetings.
here.
The Phoenix Court will hear your words.
Ah, shit. It's because of our reliability now. They're not going to give us shit. Damn it.
Does the Emperor bid?
I shouldn't have done
Is
that.
for the best.
Fuck. Let's replace it. What I was gonna do is I was gonna recruit, actually, might still do it. It'll save us.
I command here.
Cancel one of those.
Now,
And if we recruit one of those rocket batteries here,
by Sigmar's right.
that way we can get on the move in 3 turns. It'll save us a turn. It should save us a turn. And we can recruit next turn two more of the great swords. And then we can get on the move 1 turn earlier.
Ready.
So by the time this is recruited, then we'll reorganize the armies a little bit.
They will be judged.
And we'll be good to go there a little bit sooner.
They will be judged. For Sigmar. Is that where heretics lurk?
What?
Fuck, though, now that our reliability is all screwed up,
Them out. Moving off.
I don't know if the dwarfs are going to...
Ragnarok! Welcome, friends of the Dowie.
Fucking hell. Oh, we need to wait till our reliability goes back up now. This is really annoying.
I am a soul keeper.
Oh, bolas. This will boost the income.
What do you require?
Alright, research. I think we'll finally do this. Well, this will save us a little bit of money. I think this will be more useful. Ooh, you know what, that would be a little bit convenient. But yeah, we'll go with that, and then probably the war horses.
What brings you here?
Oh shoot, forgot about Loki. In an instant, the situation was reversed. The orcs were smashed to one side. Locke could see more knights galloping to join the assault. They had the colors of Averheim. Locke was transfixed for a moment, hardly daring to believe what he was seeing. The orcs, scattered, ridden down by the knights, suddenly relieved of the pressure of constant defense, his own men began to break out of the stricture. The greenskins, caught between 2 forces, broke under the assault. Not all of them ran. Some of the larger warriors stood their ground, bellowing in frustration at the denial of their prize. A huge orc lurked up to block, eyes blazing, axe swinging, low against the ground. A halberdier charged straight at it, but was swatted away with a casual swipe of the monster's vast claw-like hand. The creature fixed its pig-like eyes on Block. Somewhere deep within its violence-addled mind, it singled him out. With a guttural roar, it charged. Block tensed, waiting for the impact. It never came. The knight rode between the two of them, cutting off the orc's attack. There was a blaze of sunlight as the rider's sword plunged downwards. The greenskin crashed to the ground, decapitated, its severed neck pumping blood. The ruined corpse rolled several times before coming to a halt, its claws still twitching. The knight tore onward, hardly pausing to regain his balance. Ahead of him, the rest of the orcs were being driven away. The horde had been smashed. In the wake of the knights, Averlanders poured into the breach. They rushed over to Block's beleaguered men, sweeping the orcs from their hard-pressed lines and pursuing them as they broke and ran. Finally, the relief had arrived. Block felt his sword arm go weak at last. He'd been fighting with barely a break for days. It had taken its toll. Felt his vision begin to cloud, and he felt suddenly light-hearted. Then a shadow fell across him, shading his eyes against the sun. He looked up. Schwarzhelm towered above him. His charger's flanks were glossy with sweat. The man's massive armored form must have taken some caring. Schwarzhelm's presence was like the return of a welcome dream. There was the familiar armor, the laurel-wreathed helmet, the massive breastplate with the Galmaraz pendant swinging from it. "My lord," cried Block. Schwarzhelm pulled his horse around and dismounted in a single movement. The blood of the orcs loosed down the sword of justice. He walked up to Block.
All you
The Emperor's champion was as grim-faced as ever. Where was I? Grim-faced as ever, but there was an icy satisfaction in the man's eyes. You survived, says Schwarzhelm. I knew you would. I am not too late. Clasped Block on the shoulder. The grip was as heavy as any blow he'd received on the battlefield, and he had to work not to stagger under it. It's becoming a habit, sir, said Block, his worn face breaking into an expression of pure relief. What is? Riding to the rescue, just like in the legends. More Averlander troops were arriving every moment, riding across the battlefield. In the face of the reinforcements, the remaining orcs were driven back further, and all around them Block's men were falling to the earth in exhaustion. Their places were taken by fresh foot soldiers, backed up by the ever-present knights. Can you still wield a blade? Asked Schwarzhelm, clearly itching to be after the remaining greenskins. Block grinned, his energy returning in an instant. Even after everything, the prospect of fighting alongside the great man was something he relished. There were men who would have given their own families into slavery to have the honor of marching beside Schwarzhelm. Give me a proper weapon to wield, and I'll fight with you till the end of times. Till the end times come, and we're all damned together. Schwarzhelm nodded with approval. Get this man a halberd, he roared. Then we finish this thing. Alright, there's a little break in the text, and we're just about coming up to the end of the end turn here. I guess we'll try and push through one more end turn before we end things today, or I guess we could end things here. Yeah, maybe actually I will end things a little bit before the hour mark. I'm kind of thinking, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this or not, but I'm kind of thinking I might skip ahead a little bit because things have gotten a little bit stale. Well, not, I don't want to stay stale, but a little bit boring. We're not really doing much at the moment. We're just reorganizing our forces. I mean, I may or may not. I mean, I might not even bother, but let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you would be opposed to that or if you'd be for that, because definitely do that. Though I guess we do have a couple fights coming up. Actually, why don't we do this fight here with the nasty Skaven, and then we'll end the episode. Before we do that, because I'm probably going to forget about this, let's pick up. Oh, for fuck's sake, are you kidding me? Oh fuck, that didn't even save us a turn. Yeah. How many turns? 4 turns. Fuck's sake. Alright, so that didn't even.
I will marshal the men.
Not even gonna save us a turn. Anyway. Get this built up. A little bit of building here. Or take on this fight. Just see how this affects the public order. So over here, where are we at? It's 21.
Is it time?
Move one of you over. That's plus 10.
The nation calls.
Onwards to the provinces. It is time.
Alright, looks like we are good to go here. Military crackdown is only 4, so yeah, we are pretty much settled here for public order. And then we can slowly start expanding in this area. We'll leave the voice of Sigmar up here to spread the good word of Sigmar, I guess. Probably send him to Bjorn's gathering next, but we'll wait till these provinces are a little bit better built up and a little bit less tainted, all that stuff.
Let us forge our faith.
By the comet.
All right. Yeah.
Who calls?
Get you moving. We'll come down to Norden. And we'll make our way across the land, I guess. Okay. Aristotle. I think we'll come down this way. Through Altdorf. I might... I guess we can leave this army as is. I mean... The Castilian engineer, so getting a couple more artillery pieces, I guess wouldn't be the end of the world there. Anyway, we gotta be careful here, not to lose our artillery pieces. Not to mention too, our swords are in a little bit bad shape.
No, need my warp token stash.
That's a lot of slingers. Odds are pretty close. It'd be nice to have some cavalry here for this fight. Yeah, so I mean, let me know, guys, if you want me to skip ahead a few turns until we're ready to declare war on the elves and the orcs. Probably the von Karsteins too, or if something else interesting happens, if someone else declares war on us. If you want me to do that, just let me know. Though I think we've actually gotten through most of the monotonous stuff here, just building up the armies and reorganizing. Shouldn't be too many turns. The problem is we need the military access with the dwarves, and I have no idea how long it's going to take for our reliability to go back up. I'm hoping it's just 10 turns, but I've got a feeling it's going to be much longer than that. Alrighty. We're gonna fight in the corner here. Corner area. I think we're gonna have to keep these guys in the area for the whatchamacallit? Dwellers from below. Assuming that they can use dwellers from below. Shoot. Forgot to group these guys.
I do not fear death.
Crossbows ready, General!
Ready for war.
Awaiting orders! For Heldenhammer!
A lot of slingers, at least we've got the swords.
Eager for battle.
Even though our numbers are a little bit low, I feel like we should be okay here.
Which target, General?
Swordsman.
We have a bit of a thin line we've got out front there.
Crossbowman!
Yes, sir.
I want you to try and pick him off. Let the mortars do most of the damage here. You guys to focus on the slingers. I think they're gonna be the biggest pain here.
Crank that machine! Crossbows ready, General! Take the ground!
I guess maybe they don't have the dwellers from below. Not sure how you check that to see how many are menace from below, dwellers from below. Fuck, I think it's menace from below. Dwellers from below, I think is the spell, I guess.
Fighting range, sir! Crossbowman!
Mortar. Cannons fire.
Elevate
hits there. Should be able to absorb a lot of this with the shields. It'd be nice if we had higher numbers. But just have to here and take it. You get in there. You start shooting them now. Shooting them. You in there to support. Let's focus on them.
For the Emperor! Crossbowman! Sigmar Corps!
Alright, actually, go over there.
For the Emperor! For the Emperor! Swordsman!
Alright, line seems to be holding.
For Heldenhammer! Swordsman! Yes, sir. Swordsman! Lodge! Mortar! Fire! Steady, men! Go!
Back in line.
Swordsman! At speed!
Yeah. Get in there too.
Crossbows ready, General! Empire marksman! My orders stand!
Alright, cannons took him out. Their leader there. I think we're probably gonna have to manually resolve another battle against them to avoid losing anything. Wow, we only lost 31 there. We're taking all that fire from those slingers. I guess that shows you how useful the slingers are. Yikes. I mean, the shields, definitely having the shields helps out, I think. Mutton the Mad. Treasurer Helborg, yeah. Once public order is settled here in the north, we'll bring Helborg down and we'll build a new army for him. Get rid of some of these older units. Probably keep the cannons. Mortars we'll get rid of. Much as I love them, I'll just probably replace them with the rocket batteries. Probably keep the crossbows and then just replace the swords with great swords. And then be ready to take on a little bit tougher opponents. But for sorting out rebellions and stuff, having a cheap stack like this is perfect.
Praise be to Sigmar!
Bollocks.
Sigmar
Like we
lighted
might have enough room to catch him there. Anyway, in either case, I'm gonna end things right here. I think we have enough room to catch him, but we'll probably have to manually resolve that. But we'll start things off with that next time, and then if we can't reach them, we'll just fall back to the old hell pit there. I'll have to bring him around to help sort the public order here. I think, yeah, I think we should have time to get back here before the rebellion. We might even be able to, with him sitting over here, might even be able to get public order kind of under control. Province we're going to build. The tap room. It should be built just in time to prevent the rebellion. And then I don't think we'll have to worry about this province. I think we should be good there. Anyway, guys, I want to thank everyone for stopping by, everyone for watching. I really appreciate the continued support. Thinking to wrap things up here in this campaign in the next week or two, and we're going to start a Balthasar Geld campaign, which I believe is starting position is going to be over here somewhere, I think. I mean, I could be mistaken. But they're adding some new territory to the game. The map is changing, which is why I'm not even sure that this campaign is going to be... I'm going to be able to continue playing this, if the save file is still going to work. It just depends if the new additions to the map will affect the older versions of the game, which they might. Yeah, it said something in the fact about, or something in the blog release, that the previous saves will be defunct. So I don't know if that counts for pre-feast stag update. I don't know. Anyway, that's why I want to try and get as much of this done before the update comes, and just start a fresh campaign. It's definitely time that we start something fresh on the campaign, or fresh on the channel. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time. Have a great day. Ragnarok out.